Whisper 3 words the right way, and her mind won't put you down. If you're like most men, you talk more when you feel less. You try jokes, compliments, stories, anything to keep the moment alive. But the harder you push, the faster the energy dies. She smiles, nods, and drifts. You go home replaying every line, thinking you needed better words. You didn't. You needed better presence. Tonight I'm going to show you a quiet switch. How to use tone, timing, and breath. So 3 simple words. Land like a seed in still water. No tricks, no cringe lines. Just a calm delivery that bypasses her logic and speaks to her instincts. We'll kill the small talk, build the right rhythm, and reveal the 3 words, plus when to say them, so they echo in her head long after you say goodnight. This is not about being louder, it's about becoming lighter, less effort, more gravity. You'll learn how to stand, how to look, how to let silence carry weight. We'll borrow from Stoicism for self-control and from psychology for subconscious cues, so your message matches your energy. When words and presence align, attraction feels effortless. If you're ready to stop performing and start being felt, stay close. Everything you've been trying to say gets easier after tonight. Breathe slower, speak softer, and let curiosity do work tonight. Let's get into it. Number 1. The whisper effect. Most men think attraction happens through what they say. They try to impress with stories, clever jokes, or confident statements. But the truth, it's never about the words. It's about how those words feel when they land. That's what I call the whisper effect, the subtle power that happens when your tone, your calm, and your presence do the talking for you. Let me give you a picture. Imagine Mark, 45, divorced for 2 years, back in the dating scene. He meets Emily, 39, at a wine tasting event. She's vibrant, smart, clearly used to being pursued. Mark, like most men, starts strong. He's trying to be interesting, asking too many questions, filling every silence. She's polite, but distant. Then halfway through the evening, he stops. He slows down. He speaks softer, less often. Instead of trying to lead the rhythm, he starts feeling it. When she finishes a story, he simply holds eye contact and says quietly, "You have a beautiful way of telling that." Nothing flashy, just calm, confident energy. That one moment shifts the atmosphere. Her body language opens. She leans in. That's the whisper effect in real time. You don't raise your energy to meet hers, you invite hers to settle into yours. Your calm becomes the space she relaxes into. It's not dominance, it's groundedness. When a man speaks softly but with certainty, it signals 2 things to a woman's subconscious: safety and control. He's not seeking validation, he's in control of himself. In psychology, this is known as affective resonance. Your emotional state regulates the environment around you. And women, especially emotionally intuitive ones, feel that instantly. When you whisper, not literally but energetically, you communicate. I don't need to chase your attention. I already have mine. Now here's what's important. This doesn't mean mumbling or pretending to be mysterious. It's about slowing your breath, lowering your voice just enough to make her listen closer. The quieter you are, the more she must engage. Remember, silence creates tension, and tension builds attraction. Most men fear silence. Stoic men use it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater his influence." You don't draw her in by forcing interest. You create space for her curiosity to breathe. The whisper effect isn't about being passive. It's about being deliberate. Mark didn't plan a line. He adjusted his state. That's why it worked. Emily didn't respond to what he said. She responded to what she felt. And here's where most men fail. They think attraction is performance. It's not. It's presence. Women remember how your voice made them feel, not what your words meant. When your tone and your energy align, her subconscious locks onto it. It's almost biological. Her nervous system mirrors yours. If you're calm, she relaxes. If you're steady, she opens. So next time you speak, don't rush to fill silence. Let it breathe. Let her wonder what's behind that quiet confidence. Because when you master the whisper effect, you stop trying to get her attention and start commanding it without effort. Now I want you to pause and think, have you ever seen this happen before, maybe in a moment where you didn't try but everything just clicked? Drop it in the comments with the words, "I've seen this." Stay with me, because what comes next will show you how to control that effect at will. You don't want to miss it. Number 2. Presence over performance. Most men perform when they feel unseen. They talk more, move faster, try harder, believing that effort equals connection. But the paradox of attraction is this: the more you perform, the less she feels you. What draws her in isn't the show, it's the stillness behind it. That's the essence of presence over performance. Presence is the energy that exists in the space between words. It's how you look at her when she finishes speaking. It's the rhythm of your breath when you're simply there, not trying to be anything else. You see, performance lives in the mind, it's self-conscious. Presence lives in the body, it's awareness without effort. When you perform, you're in reaction. You're scanning for approval, reading her face, trying to adjust. That signals uncertainty. Presence, on the other hand, is silent authority. It says, I don't need to prove myself. I'm already grounded in who I am. And that energy is irresistible to women, not because it's loud, but because it's rare. Here's what Stoicism teaches us about this. Epictetus said, if you wish to be good, first believe that you are bad. Meaning, don't fake confidence. Acknowledge your insecurity, then choose not to serve it. That awareness is presence. You aren't acting calm, you're returning to calm. You aren't pretending to be centered. You become centered. Women can feel this shift immediately. When you perform, your energy pushes outward, it's grasping. When you're present, it draws inward, it's grounding. That's why a man sitting quietly, completely at ease, can change the atmosphere of a room. His silence says, I'm not here to entertain, I'm here to experience. Now, think about this from her subconscious perspective. A woman's nervous system reads your energy faster than your words. If you're anxious or over-invested, she feels it as instability. But if you're calm, patient, and aware, she experiences safety. And safety, paradoxically, is the foundation of attraction. She cannot open emotionally or physically to a man she doesn't feel safe around. This is why stillness is seductive. When you slow down, when you allow pauses, when you hold eye contact without expectation, you're showing mastery over your impulses. And that's magnetic. It signals self-control, confidence, and focus. It tells her, I'm not performing for your attention, I'm deciding where to place mine. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When your inner dialogue is chaotic, your presence feels chaotic. But when your inner world is still, when you think less and observe more, your energy speaks louder than any line ever could. Presence isn't about saying nothing, it's about saying everything without words. The way you lean back, the pause before you speak, the quiet steadiness in your tone, all of it tells her you're not trying to win her, you're inviting her into your world. And here's the irony, when you stop performing, you actually become more captivating. The performance fades, the polarity returns. She feels something ancient, primal, safe. Because your calm gives her permission to relax, to stop reading, to start feeling. So when you meet a woman next time, don't aim to impress her, aim to be there. Slow your breath. Speak less. Notice her, but don't chase her reaction. Because the man who can sit in silence with ease already has her attention. Remember, the louder you try to be, the quieter your power becomes. Stay tuned, because next we'll talk about the subconscious switch that makes her body respond before her mind even knows why. You'll want to hear this. Number 3. The subconscious trigger. Most men try to connect with women through logic. They explain, they justify, they try to sound impressive. But attraction doesn't live in logic, it lives in the subconscious. You can't convince a woman to feel something, you can only trigger it. And that's where most men lose the game before it even starts. Let me show you what this really looks like. David, 52, recently divorced, meets Laura, 44, through a mutual friend. They go for coffee. David's polite, respectful, and talkative. He asks about her job, her hobbies, her travel. On paper, it's a perfect conversation. But halfway through, Laura zones out. Her responses shorten. The energy dies. A week later, David's friend sets her up with another man, Tom, 48. Tom doesn't ask many questions. He listens more than he speaks. His tone is slow, his pauses intentional. When he does talk, he tells a story not about success, but about experience. He mentions how silence has become his favorite company. Laura laughs softly, her eyes linger longer. She feels something she can't explain. That's the subconscious trigger in action. It's not what Tom said, it's how he said it. His voice had rhythm, patience, and certainty. He didn't fill silence with words, he filled it with energy. The female subconscious reads emotional rhythm, not content. She's not analyzing your logic, she's feeling your energy. When your tone, pace, and calmness match safety and self-control, her body relaxes. And once she relaxes, her attraction begins to rise. Psychologist Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That's exactly what happens in human connection. A woman doesn't fall for your resume or achievements. She falls for how your presence feels to her nervous system. Think about this: when you speak fast or over-explain, her subconscious reads anxiety. When you slow down, when your voice drops a little lower, and your breathing stays steady, her subconscious reads stability. That's why Stoic energy is so powerful. It communicates, "I am in control of myself, therefore you are safe to feel." This is the quiet truth behind male attraction. You don't need to be the most charming or the most handsome. You just need to be emotionally regulated. Because her subconscious can't resist what feels safe yet intriguing. The next time you're speaking to a woman, try this. Instead of focusing on what to say, focus on how she's breathing. Notice if she's matching your pace. If she starts breathing slower, if her shoulders relax, you're already connecting without saying a word. That's the power of rhythm. Energy leads before words do. Most men think attraction is a negotiation, but it's not, it's resonance. Her subconscious won't respond to your logic, it will respond to your calm. The man who can control his tone controls the temperature of the moment. So when you speak, remember this: you're not talking to her ears, you're talking to her body's sense of safety. Now here's a little challenge. Think back to a time when someone's voice, just their tone, pulled you in instantly. You couldn't explain why, but you felt it. Drop it in the comments with the words, "I've felt that." Stay with me, because next we'll destroy one of the biggest attraction killers of all time: small talk. You'll see how it ruins connection before it even begins. Number 4. Kill the small talk. Let's be honest, small talk is where attraction goes to die. How's your day? What do you do? How's work? You've heard it all before. It's predictable, forgettable, and emotionally flat. The problem isn't that these questions are bad, it's that they don't move anything. They don't touch her. They don't make her feel seen. Here's the truth: women don't crave conversation, they crave connection. And small talk is the opposite of that. It's mental noise. It keeps both of you safe but distant. When you stay in the shallow end of a conversation, you send one subtle message: "I'm afraid to be real." And whether she realizes it or not, her body feels that. You become another polite man blending into the background. Stoicism teaches that emotional mastery comes from intentional speech. Seneca said, "Speech is the mirror of the soul. As a man speaks, so is he." When you talk only to fill silence, your words reflect anxiety. When you speak with intention, your silence holds weight. That's presence. So, instead of "how was your day?" try something that hits deeper. Ask, "What made you smile today?" or "What was the best part of your week so far?" These aren't magic lines, they're invitations. They open emotional doors instead of walking in circles. But it's not just about what you ask, it's about how you listen. When she answers, don't rush to respond. Pause. Let her words hang. Make her feel that you're actually hearing her. That pause tells her you're grounded enough to stay in the moment without reaching for the next line. In psychology, this pause creates what's called affective depth, a feeling of being emotionally held, not judged. And that's rare. Women remember how they feel in your presence long after they forget your words. There's also another layer to killing small talk, authentic tension. You don't have to fill every silence. When you sit across from her, look her in the eyes and simply say, "You have a really calming energy," then stop talking. Her subconscious leans in to fill the space. That's attraction. You've handed her something real. Remember, your tone and energy matter more than your vocabulary. A Stoic man doesn't speak to impress, he speaks to express. His calmness creates curiosity. His restraint builds desire. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Translate that here. The quality of your connection depends upon the quality of your words and the space between them. So kill the filler. Replace habit with honesty. Speak when it means something and when it doesn't, stay silent. In a world of constant noise, silence is seductive. And one more thing, if you want to go beyond this, deeper into the kind of mindset that changes how women feel your energy, consider joining the members area. Inside, you'll get private lessons on Stoic psychology, emotional regulation, and real-world scenarios designed to sharpen your masculine presence. It's where we take this knowledge and turn it into action. If you're ready to become the man who doesn't need to perform, who speaks little but leaves a lasting impression, join us inside. You'll know exactly how to use every word, every pause, every silence to your advantage. Because small talk ends where real attraction begins. Stay tuned. Next, we'll talk about the subtle energy that transforms presence into magnetism. You'll want to hear this one. Number 5. The candle, not another balloon. Most men think attraction is about adding more compliments, more effort, more messages, more energy. But the truth is, most women are already surrounded by too much energy, too much noise. Too many men inflating the air with empty words and nervous tension. And that's exactly why they forget almost everyone. You see, when you try too hard, you become another balloon, big, colorful, and easy to pop. But when you master calm energy, you become the candle, quiet, steady, warm, and impossible to ignore. The balloon fills the room. The candle changes the atmosphere. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Michael, 47, recently started seeing Sophie, 43. She's attractive, intelligent, and used to being approached by men who flood her with attention. On their first few dates, Michael felt the urge to keep it lively. He filled silences with jokes, stories, random compliments. Sophie smiled, but her energies stayed guarded. One night during dinner, he stopped performing. He leaned back, relaxed, and listened, really listened. He looked at her and said quietly, "You make it easy to forget about the rest of the world for a while." Then he stopped talking. For a moment she froze, then smiled differently this time. Softer. She exhaled. Her body language changed completely. She leaned forward. Her eyes stayed on him longer. That moment wasn't about the line. It was about his stillness, his candle energy. The candle doesn't demand attention. It invites it. Its presence says, "I'm enough right here, right now." That's what women crave at a subconscious level, not a man who inflates himself to seem interesting, but one who burns steadily because he knows his worth. Here's why this works. The female nervous system reads emotional regulation as strength. The calmer you are, the more her body relaxes. When you show you're unaffected by silence, rejection, or pressure, she feels safe, and that safety becomes desire. Psychologically, this taps into what's called emotional polarity. Two nervous systems can't both be anxious and expect attraction. When she's uncertain, you stay certain. When she tests, you stay grounded. When she flutters, you anchor. That balance creates the spark. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the rock against which the waves break, and it stands firm." That's the candle. It doesn't fight the dark. It simply shines. Michael didn't win Sophie because of a clever line. He won her attention because his calmness lit the moment. Women remember how they feel around you far more than what you say to them. That's why quiet power lasts longer than loud effort. So here's your challenge. The next time you feel the urge to prove yourself, pause. Ask yourself, am I trying to inflate or am I shining? Speak less, feel more. Let your tone slow down. Hold her eyes a second longer than usual. The calm space you create between words is what makes her nervous system lean in. And if you've ever noticed that the more you talk, the less she listens, but the moment you go quiet, she starts watching you. That's the candle at work. You don't need to rise above the noise, you just need to outlast it. Now tell me, have you ever experienced this shift where being calm made someone respond differently to you? Right, I've seen this in the comments if you know exactly what I mean. Stay with me, because next we'll talk about 3 words that can quietly take this connection to another level. You don't want to miss it. Number 6. 3 words that open the door. Every man searches for the perfect line, the thing to say that unlocks attraction, connection, or desire. But the truth is, no sentence in the world can make her feel something if your energy doesn't match the words. Because women don't respond to clever, they respond to congruence. When what you say, how you say it, and what you feel all align, you stop sounding like a man trying to win her and start sounding like a man she can feel. That's where 3 words, you and me, become powerful. Not because they're poetic or original, but because they carry the energy of invitation without demand. They say, I see us in the same frame. It's not ownership, it's not desperation, it's presence. Spoken with calm, grounded intention, those 3 words bypass her logic and touch something older, deeper, and far less conscious. When you whisper, you and me, slowly and deliberately, the words vibrate in the air differently. They imply connection, unity, and trust without pressure. Psychologists call this a subconscious mirroring cue. It triggers the part of her brain that processes belonging and emotional safety. You're not asking her to agree, you're simply offering the possibility. But timing is everything. You don't say these words early. You say them when the energy between you is already alive, when the silence between sentences feels charged, when her breathing matches yours. That's when 3 simple words can hit like a whisper in the dark, soft but impossible to forget. A Stoic man knows that power doesn't come from force, it comes from harmony. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." That's true of attraction too. You don't rush the moment. You feel it, breathe through it, and let her curiosity grow in the quiet space you create. The key is to mean every word you say. When you speak from a calm, centered place, those words carry weight far beyond their sound. Think about how most men speak. They push their energy outward, hoping to provoke a reaction. But when you speak softly, slowly, and confidently, you pull energy toward you. You and me stops being a phrase, it becomes an energy exchange. She doesn't just hear it, she feels it. This is the same principle that Stoicism calls logos, the alignment between inner truth and outer expression. When your intention and your delivery match, your presence becomes undeniable. You don't need to convince. You simply exist in truth, and she feels drawn into it. So the next time you're with her, maybe walking together, maybe sitting close in quiet conversation, try it. Wait for that pause, the one that feels almost electric. Then lean slightly closer, lower your voice and say it as if it's a fact, not a request. You and me. Then stop. Let it breathe. Don't fill the silence. Let her feel the words echo in that space. Because here's the secret: attraction doesn't grow from what you say, it grows from what she feels when you stop talking. And remember this, when you're calm, aligned and present, even 3 simple words can open doors no line ever could. If you've ever said something small but it changed everything, right? I've felt this in the comments. Stay tuned, because next we'll go deeper into the unspoken message behind those words, the calm frame that says, I am the choice. You'll want to hear this one. Number 7. I am the choice. There's a quiet moment in every interaction where the frame shifts, when a woman stops wondering if she likes you and starts feeling that she does. Most men never reach that moment because they never stop chasing it. They stay in a mindset of, I hope she chooses me, not realizing that true attraction begins only when a man silently communicates, I am the choice. This doesn't mean arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than her. It's about emotional stability, the kind that says, I know who I am, and you can either meet me here or keep walking. Let's look at how this plays out. Jason, 49, divorced for 5 years, met Claire, 42, through a mutual friend. She was stunning, charismatic, and used to attention. Their first dinner went smoothly, good conversation, laughter, but she tested him subtly. She mentioned other men messaging her, talked about her busy schedule, and once even went quiet to see how he'd react. Most men would have taken the bait, asking for clarity, seeking reassurance, or trying harder to impress. Jason didn't. He just smiled, took a slow sip of wine and said, Sounds like you have options. His tone wasn't sarcastic, it was calm, grounded and certain. Then he changed the subject. Something shifted in Claire. She leaned forward, her voice softened, her energy changed. That's the paradox of attraction. When you stop trying to prove your worth becomes obvious. The phrase, I am the choice, doesn't need to be spoken, it's felt. It's in your posture, your tone, your stillness. It's in the way you listen without urgency, the way you move like you're not auditioning. You're not selling anything. You're allowing her to discover you. Psychologically, this triggers what researchers call status equilibrium. When one person senses calm confidence, they subconsciously want to align with that stability. Women, especially emotionally intelligent ones, read a man's self-assurance not through dominance but through peace. The more grounded you are, the more she feels safe leaning into you. Here's what most men don't realize: when you chase, you flip polarity. You make her the prize and your energy becomes reactive. But when you embody the mindset of I am the choice, you flip it back. You become the steady center she orbits. And she feels that not as ego, but as presence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That's what this means in relationships. You don't control her thoughts, but you control your frame. You decide whether you react or remain still. And when your calm becomes unshakable, she feels magnetically pulled into it. Jason didn't win Claire because of what he said. He won because he refused to lose himself in the process. His peace was his gravity. He didn't try to outshine the noise. He became the silence that made everything else fade. So here's your takeaway. Stop waiting to be chosen. Start embodying choice. Stop reacting to tests. Start observing them. The man who doesn't need to convince anyone naturally convinces everyone. And when you live in that truth, every glance, every word, every silence carries a message that can't be faked. I am the calm in your storm. You can either step into it or stay where you are. Now think about it. Have you ever felt that shift when you stopped chasing and everything suddenly aligned? Right, I've been there in the comments. Stay with me, because next we'll uncover how your energy and words must align perfectly to make your presence unforgettable. You don't want to miss it. Number 8. Alignment is the real confidence. Most men mistake confidence for volume. They think confidence means walking louder, talking bigger, or taking up more space. But true confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It radiates from within, quietly, consistently, unmistakably. That's because real confidence isn't an act, it's alignment. When what you say, what you do, and what you believe are all in harmony, you don't have to convince anyone you are the message. When you're aligned, your energy is clean. There's no split between your inner world and your outer behavior. You're not pretending to be composed, you are composed. You're not performing calm, you've practiced it. And that kind of congruence is rare, that's why it feels magnetic. A woman's subconscious is extremely sensitive to that alignment. She can feel when your words and your energy don't match. When you say, "I'm not bothered," but your tone carries frustration. When you act uninterested, but your eyes keep searching for reassurance. That mismatch kills attraction instantly. It signals insecurity, a man fighting himself. But when your energy and words line up, something changes. You become still, not stiff, warm, not needy, confident, not defensive. You're no longer trying to prove control, you're living in it. This is exactly what Stoicism teaches, the unity of thought, speech, and action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That's alignment, that's integrity. And it's not just moral, it's magnetic. Because integrity creates coherence, and coherence feels safe. When a woman meets a man whose energy is coherent, her nervous system relaxes. She doesn't need to guess what he means or test his reactions. His presence feels predictable, steady, trustworthy. And paradoxically, that's what makes him irresistible. Safety, when paired with masculine calm, becomes the foundation of desire. Now here's the tricky part. Alignment can't be faked. You can't force yourself to look calm while panicking inside. You have to practice calmness daily through solitude, discipline, and awareness. Stoicism isn't about repressing emotion, it's about directing it. When you can sit with discomfort without reacting, your energy naturally aligns. Imagine this, a man who says, "I'm okay with whatever happens," and means it. His tone, body, and energy all confirm that truth. That's unshakable power. It's not arrogance, it's acceptance. He's not resisting life, he's flowing with it. And that flow creates presence that words can't manufacture. Most men spend their lives in conflict with their feelings, their image, their intentions. That internal war leaks through in every interaction. But the aligned man, the Stoic man, has made peace with himself. That's why he moves slowly, speaks deliberately, and never feels the need to perform. When your inner voice and your outer voice finally sound the same, people trust you instantly. They may not know why, but they feel it. That's the subconscious power of alignment. It builds connection before logic ever gets involved. So if you want real confidence, stop chasing it. Start living it. Say only what you mean what you say. Let your energy match your message. Confidence isn't a costume, it's consistency. And when you master that, you'll notice something remarkable. Women stop analyzing you. They stop testing you. They just relax. Because deep down they can finally feel that you're not pretending, you're aligned. Stay tuned, because next we'll explore the one thing that makes that alignment even stronger, the rhythm of timing. The moment you learn when to act and when to stay still, everything changes. Number 9. Timing is sacred. There's a rhythm to attraction, a pulse that most men never feel because they're too busy trying to control the moment. They rush to fill silence, force connection, or move faster than the energy allows. But the truth is, the space between words, the patience between moments, is where real connection breathes. That's why timing isn't just important, it's sacred. Let's make this real. Ethan, 51, met Rachel, 46, at a friend's dinner party. From the start, there was chemistry, subtle eye contact, a few teasing smiles. But Ethan didn't rush in. He didn't bombard her with compliments or chase her attention. Instead, he stayed present, observing the rhythm of the moment. When she spoke, he listened fully. When silence came, he didn't break it, he let it linger, letting her feel the weight of his attention. Later, when he finally said something as simple as, "I like the way you think," the timing hit perfectly. It wasn't the words that moved her, it was the patience that framed them. Rachel felt something she couldn't name, a pull, a presence, a sense of safety and intrigue at the same time. That's timing. In relationships, most men mistake urgency for passion. They think faster means stronger. But real attraction grows like music. It needs pauses, rests, and rhythm. Without them, it becomes noise. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." And that includes attraction. You can't force a connection any more than you can force a flower to bloom. All you can do is create the right conditions, your stillness, your awareness, your patience, and then let it unfold. Timing is what separates desperation from magnetism. A desperate man tries to grab the moment. A stoic man lets the moment come to him. He trusts the flow. He understands that silence, when held confidently, is more seductive than any line. Psychologically, this connects to what experts call temporal pacing, the art of matching emotional tempo. When you slow down your speech, when you mirror her breathing or her tone, her subconscious syncs with yours. That's not manipulation, it's resonance. It's your calm inviting her into alignment with you. Timing also applies to everything beyond conversation. When to lean in, when to text, when to walk away. The mature man knows that waiting isn't weakness, it's strength under control. Every pause gives your presence more weight. Ethan didn't have to make a move that night. When he stood to leave, he simply looked at Rachel, smiled slightly, and said, "I'll see you again." That was it. No promises, no pressure, just certainty delivered in perfect time. And because he wasn't forcing it, she felt it. 2 days later, she texted him first. That's what sacred timing looks like. It feels effortless, but it's born from patience. If you act too soon, you seem impulsive. If you wait too long, the energy dies. But when you move with the rhythm of connection, when you speak, when the silence asks you to, you become unforgettable. Marcus Aurelius said, "Everything that happens, happens as it should, and if you observe carefully, you will find this to be so." The same applies here. Watch carefully, feel the moment before you enter it. Timing isn't a tactic, it's awareness in motion. It's knowing that every second of restraint makes the next word more powerful. So next time you feel the urge to rush, don't. Wait, breathe, let the tension build, and when the time feels right, speak softly, because when you master timing, your silence says everything. Now tell me, have you ever had a moment where you said the right thing at exactly the right time? Right, I felt this in the comments. Stay with me, because in the final part we'll bring everything together, the energy, the rhythm, and the calm power of the Stoic man, who doesn't chase, doesn't rush, and never needs to say much to be remembered. Number 10. The Stoic Delivery. There's a reason why some men can say the simplest thing, and it lands like thunder. It's not the words, it's not the tone, it's the delivery. The Stoic delivery is the rare ability to speak from a place of total calm, absolute conviction, and zero need for validation. It's not about what you say, it's about who you are when you say it. See, every word you speak carries the energy of your state. If you're nervous, unsure, or seeking approval, your words come out shaky, even when your voice sounds steady. But when you've mastered your emotions, when you speak from stillness, your words carry weight. They resonate. They linger. That's why women remember certain men long after the conversation ends. They weren't louder, they weren't funnier. They were simply anchored. The Stoic man doesn't talk to impress. He speaks to express truth. His calm delivery tells her, "I'm not here to chase your reaction. I'm here to share my reality." To understand this, think about how a great actor delivers a line. The script might be the same, but the energy changes everything. One man recites it and you forget it in seconds. Another man whispers it and you feel it for days. The Stoic delivery works the same way. It's the space between the words, the controlled breath, the steady gaze that says, "I mean every word I say." Now, in the context of attraction, this is what sets the mature man apart. When he speaks to a woman, he doesn't speed up or stumble trying to please her. He allows silence. He lets tension breathe. His communication is effortless because he's not trying. The Stoic delivery also means never over-explaining. You don't justify, you don't defend. You let your boundaries, your tone, and your stillness do the talking. If she asks a provocative question, you don't flinch, you answer calmly or simply smile. That restraint communicates confidence more powerfully than 1,000 words. Epictetus once said, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." That's the essence of Stoic communication, intent before expression. You think before you talk, not because you're afraid to speak, but because you respect your own words. Every syllable should carry presence. The delivery also extends beyond speech. It's in your movements, your timing, your eye contact. When you walk into a room, do you rush to fill space or do you own it silently? When you look at her, do your eyes wander nervously or do you hold her gaze just long enough for her to feel your calm? The Stoic delivery is minimal but powerful. It's the embodiment of less is more. You don't flood her with attention, you give her precision. Every look, every word, every pause has purpose. When a man reaches this level of control, he doesn't need to flirt. His energy does it for him. His delivery isn't about seduction, it's about truthfulness under pressure. That's what draws her in, because she senses that nothing she says can shake him. His presence is unreactive, and that's what every feminine mind craves, a masculine anchor in a world of chaos. And here's the beauty of it all. Stoic delivery doesn't require charm, money, or youth. It only requires mastery of self. When your emotions are yours to command, your delivery becomes naturally magnetic. You no longer seek attention. Attention finds you. So, as we close this series, remember, this attraction isn't about performance, it's about presence. You don't have to speak louder, you have to speak truer. When your words come from calm, when your tone matches your truth, when your pauses carry power, that's when she listens. Not because she has to, but because she wants to. That's the Stoic delivery. Simple, grounded, unshakable, and unforgettable. That's it for today, gentlemen. We've uncovered the real power behind attraction, how presence, timing, and calm delivery matter more than words ever could. You've learned that the secret isn't in saying more, but in saying less with more meaning. When you speak from stillness, when your energy aligns with your words, you become unforgettable. If you're ready to master this at a deeper level, to learn how Stoic discipline, masculine energy, and emotional control can completely reshape how women respond to you, join the members area. Inside, you'll get access to exclusive lessons and in-depth training designed to help you live and lead like a Stoic man. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.